Hi, I'm Michelle Kovacevic and I'm YPARD's Global Mentoring Coordinator.
Hi, I'm Jim, and I'm the YPARD Philippines Country Representative.
And Jim and I are here today talking about managing expectations, particularly during the selection of mentees and mentors. And we're talking about that in particularly in relation to the YPARD Philippines face-to-face mentoring program. So Jim, can you tell us, obviously expectation management is a big part of a mentoring program, or many programs in fact. What have you learnt about managing expectations, particularly of mentors who might come in with different expectations to what the program is set up to do?
It was really challenging at the start. You're coming up with this. You think of a mentoring program as a product or service that you're wanting to market, and it there has there's a lot of things that goes on when you say certain words that are not in tune with how the mentors think it would sound like. Okay, maybe I just correct that in a bit. I clarify that you use certain jargons that might have a different meaning to them. Say for example, we the way we marketed the mentoring program initially was we had a phrase that said apply now as a mentee, and there was also a phrase that said apply now as a mentor. And so there were some more senior um, professionals and scientists who kind of like had a reaction to that phrase that said apply as a mentor. And they had that reaction that kind of like said, I've done a lot in my life. I've done a lot of contribution to the agricultural space. I've done a lot of experiments, and I'm already retired. Why do I need to apply? So it's kind of just a bit of a misunderstanding maybe of the words that were being used. And so it was right that we kind of like shifted gears after we had those kinds of reactions, and we said, okay, let's change the wording to apply as a mentee, keep it as is, but for the mentors we kind of like register your profile instead as so register your profile as a mentor. And like the I think what was lacking on our part was the clarity of saying that when you're registering your profile or applying as a mentor, for that matter, is that you're going into a pool of mentors, and making sure that they understand as well that it's more mentee centric. The program is more focused on the mentee. So we select the mentee first, and then we look at the needs of the mentee and say that, okay, these are the needs of this particular mentee. Which mentor from the pool of mentors would actually fit the needs of the mentees? So that kind of approach has to be really clear with the mentors, because especially more senior scientists and professionals, they've probably been engaged as well in other mentoring programs, and each mentoring program can be different. Each company's way of doing mentoring is also different. Um, some could also have financial incentives. For YPARD, we don't have. I mean, like what we had here in the Philippines mentoring program is that we don't have financial incentives to pay for time for the mentor, but we do offer like uh, travel and communications bursary just to facilitate the communications, facilitate the travel for mentors and mentees to come together. So it's very different, and you have to be really clear to the mentor what the program is all about, how the program will run, and what their role as a mentor is into the program. So those reactions, like that said that why do I need to apply, their reaction also was followed with some sentiments that said, you don't tell mentors to apply, you tell mentors to you invite mentors to be mentors. So there's you really also have to be able to adjust to these kinds of reactions, and you don't need to be angry. You just need to hear people out as well, because they also have their side of things. And they're coming from a certain perspective or point of view that might be different from yours. And so it's important to be really understanding from your end, especially if you're the one who's trying to get mentors and mentees together. So yeah, for the mentoring program team, what has to be clear is, what are you expecting from the mentors? What are we expecting from the mentors? Because once that's clear, it's easier to communicate to potential mentors on what the program is all about. you know um, and they will of course think, some mentors will think about, okay, I'm going to contribute this much time to the program, what's in it for me? And you also have to sell it to them that you're also paying it forward for the scientific community. You're paying it forward to the next generation, all the learning. And that's one big thing, because there are a lot of people, lots of scientists I've talked to that they've said that, I've done a lot already, but I've never had the chance to invest in a young person's life. The learning that I've accumulated throughout the years. And there are professionals who feel that at the end of their career, that I feel like it's all in me alone and I was never able to give it back. So what we're offering, the mentoring program is offering, is an opportunity to invest into the young people whatever they've accumulated in the past years. um so so it's really different. Different mentors will be coming from different points of view. And you also have to also look at the power dynamics, because there are potential mentors who are very high level. There are mentors who are mid-level. I'm not saying that they've not accomplished much. It's just that the kind of like portfolio they've had in their career or professional life is, they've served as a director general probably in something and all of that. So you also have to see how also that kind of the balance between that kind of like very high level powered person or experience, if you also bring that to the level of meeting with the mentees. And there's a huge play from, like, especially from our part, like from the program manager's part, the mentoring coordinator's part, on how you also get to read a person's personality. um, for me, it's important to see the nonverbal gestures of how a potential mentor would react to the idea of the mentoring program. If they're enthusiastic and saying that, wow, this is a really good idea, if you see that in their face, you see that in their body gestures, that they feel, you can see it when you talk to people, that they're really willing to get engaged and get into that. Those are the kinds of people you want to seek out. Those are the kinds of mentors you want to seek out. um, you, it's very tempting to get mentors who have very good and high credentials, but it's not always that these people with high credentials have that really heart to give also. So you have to, you don't want to judge people as well. You just want to make sure that you get the feel, you listen, you hear them out, and you kind of like get the feeling if they're really willing to invest into the next generation. And those are the kinds of mentors that are really helpful. We have one mentor who's like that in the program, and it's really cool because he's retired, but like all the mentees kind of just like, he's like a magnet. People just want to talk to him. People just want to open up to him. People want to learn from him. And he has that very fatherly kind of, aura. So these are the kinds of people that are very interesting. And there are mentors who are also very dedicated in terms of time. They're just, they're really there. There are mentors who are, willing to hear a mentee out. They're willing to give what they have in their network. So, it's kind of like, it's a push and pull. There's a lot of push and pull factors in this managing expectations with mentors. The most important part is how you, as the person who's running the mentoring program, is not easily offended. You have to be not easily offended at all, because you have to be sure that you can take things that they might say that could be a curveball, um, it could be a reaction, but you could still keep calm, you know. and and just look at the long term benefits, and look at the bigger picture, that the mentoring program is crucial to building next generation leaders in agriculture.
Wow, thanks, Jim. Very wise words.